The sprinting world might have a problem. And it's not Noah Lyles. It's not Letsile Tebogo. It's not even the next Olympic favorite. It's a 21-year-old college kid who just destroyed a record that survived nearly 2 decades. And here's the controversial part. If what happened in Oregon wasn't a fluke, then some of the biggest names in sprinting should be very nervous right now. Because Jaiden Reid just ran a time that nobody saw coming. On June 12, 2026, at the NCAA Championships in Eugene, Oregon, Reid stepped onto the track as one of the favorites. Fast? Sure, historic. Nobody expected that. When the gun fired in the men's 200-meter final, Reid exploded out of the curve and never looked back. A few seconds later, he crossed the line, looked up at the clock, and saw something that changed his career forever. 19.63 seconds. Not 19.93. Not 19.83. 19.63. The fastest 200 meters in the world this year. A new NCAA record. A new Cayman Islands national record. And, unbelievably, the first sub-20-second race of his entire life. Think about that for a second. Most sprinters spend years trying to shave a few hundredths off their personal best. Jaiden Reid skipped straight past that. And the record he broke wasn't just any record. The previous NCAA mark of 19.69 had stood since 2007. 19 years? Some of the greatest college sprinters ever came after it. None of them could touch it. Then Reid showed up and erased it. What's even crazier is what happened before the race. The 200 wasn't his only event. Earlier that night, he ran the 100-meter final and clocked 9.82 for silver. Then he ran on LSU's 4x100 relay team. Only after all that did he line up for the biggest race of his life. And afterward, he made a statement that should scare every sprinter in the world. He said he probably could have gone even faster if his legs had been fresh. Let that sink in. 19.63, and he thinks he left time on the track. Now here's where the debate begins. Because whenever a young sprinter runs a huge time, people immediately start asking the same question. Could this guy challenge the legends? The world record still belongs to Usain Bolt. 19.1-9. A mark many people consider untouchable. And no, Jaiden Reid isn't there yet. But here's why people are paying attention. 1 year ago, his personal best was 20.13. Now it's 19.63, a half-second improvement at the elite level. That almost never happens, especially not in one season. That's why sprint fans are suddenly looking at him differently. Not as a promising college athlete, but as a genuine threat on the world stage. And the scary part, he's still developing, still learning, still getting stronger. Back home in the Cayman Islands, people are already celebrating him as a national hero. But outside the Caribbean, most casual fans still have no idea who he is. That probably won't last much longer. Because after running the fastest 200 meters in the world this year, the spotlight is coming whether he's ready for it or not. The question now isn't whether Jaiden Reid is elite. He already answered that. The question is how fast he can actually go. Was 19.63 the beginning of something special? Or are we watching the rise of sprinting's next global superstar? Let me know in the comments. Can Jaiden Reid eventually challenge for Olympic gold? And how close do you think he can get to Usain Bolt's legendary 19.19 world record?
Noah Lyles just walked into Tokyo, got the worst reaction time in the entire final, and still embarrassed the field. Read that again. Olympic champion, fastest man alive, slowest start in the race. And somehow, he still won comfortably. But here's why people inside track and field are paying attention. This wasn't just about winning. This might have been Noah Lyles sending a message to the entire sprint world. Because after the race, Lyles didn't celebrate like somebody who had reached his peak. He basically told everyone else, go back to practice. And now one uncomfortable question is hanging over men's sprinting in 2026. Is Noah Lyles actually getting faster? Tokyo knows Noah Lyles. This stadium already watched him dominate world titles, gold medals, relay victories, history. The Olympic 100-meter champion walked back into Japan, carrying expectations nobody else in the field had to deal with. And honestly, the pressure made sense. This is the man who won Olympic gold by 0.005 of a second. One blink, one lean. That's how small the difference was. And now, new season outdoor debut. First, real 100-meter test of 2026. Everybody wanted answers. Was Noah ready? Was he rusty? Was the world's fastest man still the world's fastest man? Then the final happened, and for 30 meters, something looked wrong. Really wrong. Noah Lyles reacted in 0.177 seconds, slowest in the entire field, dead last off the blocks, young stars flying past him, crowd watching, pressure building. And for a second, it looked possible. Possible that Tokyo was about to get shocked. Possible the Olympic champion might actually lose. But then everything changed. Because Noah Lyles does something elite athletes learn after years of pressure. He didn't panic. He didn't force it. He didn't chase. He hunted. Stride opened up. Power exploded. 30 meters became 50. 50 became 70. Then suddenly, the race wasn't competitive anymore. 9.95 seconds victory, comfortably after the worst start in the race. That should scare everybody. But here's where this story gets uncomfortable. Because after winning, Noah Lyles looked at the sprint world and fired a shot. Diamond League athletes raced in Shanghai the night before Lyles saw the results, and basically said, not good enough. He openly challenged the level, said he expected more. That's not confidence, that's pressure. That's psychological warfare before the biggest races even begin. Rome, Paris, Diamond League season. Every sprinter just got put on notice. Because here's the scary part. This wasn't peak Noah Lyles. Bad start repeated recalls rust from the off-season, and he still ran 9.95, his personal best, 9.79. That's the terrifying number. Because Tokyo didn't show Noah Lyles' ceiling. Tokyo showed his floor. And if this is the floor, what happens when the Olympic champion finally gets comfortable? Because the sprint season just started. And Noah Lyles may have already warned everybody exactly what's coming next.